They shut at my tires. I can't.
We are receiving an influx of reports of ransacking and looting from New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Washington, D.C.
While living in a polygamous community, did you know of any underage girls who were married to adult men?
The internet is filled with creepy content, but some videos go beyond disturbing. Like this video that comes from a user on Facebook named Rico Malik. In his post, Rico wrote that he doesn't normally post on Facebook, but this time was different. In his own words, "This is a true action and awareness post. This is very hard to watch. It hit very close to home, as I've been in this situation before. This was my 19-year-old niece coming home late last night in Converse, Texas, to some home invaders in her bushes. Now, just pay attention to the recklessness our society has come to. Get this to media. These guys were out to murder anything moving last night, and they have to be dealt with. This is to be treated as if they murdered everyone in that car." Along with this warning, Rico included a video. And in that video, we can clearly see a man hiding behind a tree outside a house, waiting. According to Rico, the people in the car, his niece and others, had just pulled up to their mom's house. She was asleep inside. After spotting something suspicious, they stayed in the car and called the police. But what happened next took a very dark turn.
Do you want to tell your mom?
No, wait till the cops get here. They're just waiting.
I locked the door, so I was like,
Yeah.
because if they,
Hello?
that doesn't mean they're alone. Curtis, no.
Them right there.
No, Curtis, there's another one.
Sorry, I caught them. Lock the door. Hi, I'm in Converse at 8. There's somebody standing at the side of my house. Looks like they're trying to get in. They're trying to run.
I'm reversing.
Oh, they have a gun. 8310 J.
I gotta get out of here. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Please get here fast.
They shot at my tires.
Drive fast.
They shot at my tires. They shot at my tires. I can't.
Turn the lights off. Drive.
Get down. Get down. Get down.
Please drive. Hurry before they find us, please.
Are you okay? Put them.
Please. Oh my gosh, just stop. God, please let them come back, please. God, please, God, please, God, please. God, please. God, please don't let them come. God, please. God, please. God, please. Do you see anyone? Can you see?
No.
Can you see? Don't look. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop.
Thankfully, in this case, everyone made it out alive. They were lucky, incredibly lucky, that no one was hurt, because this situation could have gone so much worse. After watching the footage, I couldn't help but think about what I would have done if I were in their place. And the truth is, there's no good option. Grab a gun and try to fight back? There were two of them, and they had a clear line of sight to the car. Ram the car into the tree? Maybe. But then the second man would have come out from the bushes, guns blazing. Back out and try to speed off? Even then, they could have opened fire, simply because they could. No matter how you look at it, there's no easy or safe way through a situation like this, which makes it all the more miraculous that the driver and passengers walked away unharmed. Unfortunately, the two suspects are still at large, and sadly, the same can be said about what you're going to witness in this next entry. This video brings us to yet another creepy internet saga, one that's been unfolding in real time on Twitter. It's called The Sun Vanished, a strange and unsettling Twitter account that went live about 2 weeks ago. The story revolves around a person trapped inside their home, documenting their life, in a world where the sun has completely disappeared, and there's no sign of it coming back. The account tweets almost daily, and each new post adds another chilling piece to the story. Since its creation, it's gained significant attention, and for good reason. The entire thread is deeply eerie, and it's hard to look away. So let me walk you through some of the most notable moments from this disturbing narrative. The story opens with this unsettling tweet. Help. It's late in the morning and still dark outside. Where is the sun?
This afternoon, panic is taking hold on the nation in response to the sudden disappearance of the sun, with violent riots taking place in just about every major city. We are receiving an influx of reports of ransacking and looting from New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Washington, D.C., with hundreds more isolated incidents coming in hourly. The president made a public statement this morning urging people to remain calm and stay in their homes. Meanwhile, experts are claiming this phenomenon to be an event similar to New England's Dark Day in 1780, and that things will return.
From there, things quickly spiral. The power keeps going out and I keep hearing noises outside, sometimes far away, sometimes close. I can't sleep. I think the noise is outside, or gunshots. I went outside. I saw something out there. I can't really explain, but I can show you. Something just flew over my house. I just compared the sound of this video to the sound of the helicopter footage I posted a few days ago. Whatever this was, it was definitely not a helicopter. Thank God, one of my friends is still alive. He just texted me. Now we have another problem. This guy's been standing completely still, with his back toward me. I have no idea how long he's been standing there. Whoever was standing outside is gone now. Shit. Someone's screaming outside. I can see a faint line outside my bedroom window. I'm going downstairs to check it out. I'm hearing noises outside again. And then one of the most terrifying moments in the thread. I swear to God, it sounds like someone's banging on my door, but there's no way in hell I'm going downstairs to check. It got in. I don't know how it got in, but I'm hiding. I'm sorry if I'm gone for a while. I have to stay hidden and keep my phone off. It produces light. I am so sorry. And with that, the account went silent. Of course, by the time this video is published, more may have played out on the account. And if you do decide to check it out for yourself, I strongly suggest you leave the lights on, because the creator of this account definitely isn't. If you thought that was unsettling, just wait. What's coming next is something far more disturbing.
March 21st, 1997. History of the Prophet Joseph Smith. In 5th through 8th grade class. How anxious I am for Heavenly Father's Spirit to touch your minds and hearts. For what the Prophet Joseph Smith did was right.
From a tiny Utah town called Short Creek, there once emerged a cult, the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or FLDS for short. Most recently controlled by a man named Warren Jeffs, the FLDS operated quietly beneath the radar for the better part of a century. For years, Jeffs and those before him enforced strict control over their followers, preaching a chilling doctrine that plural marriage was not only a divine right, but the only path to the kingdom of heaven. Jeffs called himself the prophet, the sole man who could communicate with God. And if God told him you were to marry someone, you obeyed. One wife after another, the prophet arranged marriages for men inside the church, and most prominently, for himself. Dozens, even hundreds of women were treated as pawns, believing these marriages would guarantee them eternal salvation. And their age, that was never a concern. Inside the FLDS, hundreds of children were born to underage mothers, girls forced into marriage with men old enough to be their grandfathers, and all of them believed they were carrying out the will of God. The story of the FLDS is among the darkest I know. And like many groups of its kind, they've destroyed and sealed away countless pieces of media, records of the horrors they committed. I'll be covering their full story in depth very soon. But for now, they're not the only reason we're here tonight. In 2008, Fox premiered a game show called The Moment of Truth. The concept was simple, but brutal. Contestants would answer deeply personal, often controversial questions in front of a live studio audience for an ever-growing cash prize. Before appearing, each contestant was hooked to a polygraph. Their answers on stage would be measured against this test, meaning if you lied, everyone would know. Answer truthfully, and the prize grew larger. Answer falsely, and your secrets would be exposed, broadcast to the world. By its very nature, this was a show designed to go downhill, fast. In August 2010, a contestant named Melanie Williams took the stage for episode 9 of the show's second season. But unlike the players who came before her, Melanie carried a dark, disturbing past.
Yeah.
While living in a polygamous community, did you know of any underage girls who were married to adult men?
Yeah.
That answer is true.
But nothing could stop her dramatic climb to the top.
She had grown up inside the FLDS. She had witnessed firsthand the atrocities committed against the women and children within. To this day, Season 2, Episode 9, Melanie's first appearance, is lost. The episode has been scrubbed from existence. All that remains is a brief promotional trailer, hinting at the shocking details she revealed. But interestingly, Melanie returned for Episode 10, which does survive in full. And, in this episode, she faced a moment no one on the show had ever reached before. She was asked the final $500,000 question, the grand prize. And host Mark Wahlberg gave her a moment to think, warning her just how difficult this next question would be. After pausing to consider, she chose to continue.
I'm gonna do it for my dad. I'm gonna go for it.
You're going for it? Holy moly!
Are you okay?
It's a tough question, excuse me. But it's a tough question for me. It's a tough question. But I can...
Tears welled in her eyes as she heard the question. Her father, sitting beside her, looked on in confusion, unsure what could possibly be causing such a reaction. Hadn't she already revealed enough?
Okay. For $500,000, Melanie Williams. Question 21. Do you believe your father, as an adult, has ever had sexual relations with a minor?
Yes.
That answer is true.
The audience erupted, shocked by what had just been exposed. Melanie sat in stunned silence, and her father, equally shaken, responded in a way that only made the moment more surreal.
As part of that culture.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Let's hear what John
Yeah.
feels of that.
Gosh. I'm not sure when I did this, I knew what a minor was. That was a long time ago.
Okay.
Wife number 2 was 17. She had just gotten out of high school.
In January 2011, about 4 months after this broadcast, Melanie posted on her personal blog, hoping to clear up lingering questions about her appearance. In her post from January 7th, she revealed that her father had lied on air. The girl they had discussed wasn't 17, as he'd claimed. She was just 14. Her name was Joy. And as far as we know, Melanie's father was never investigated, never charged. Melanie herself has not posted further updates. Even now, this broadcast stands as one of the strangest and most haunting moments I've ever seen on mainstream television. And I wouldn't be surprised if it helped hasten the show's cancellation, because even if Season 2, Episode 9, is never recovered, Melanie Williams succeeded in exposing the crimes of one of the world's darkest cults on live television in front of thousands. A cult that fought desperately to keep its depraved history hidden. A cult that manipulated and abused women and children for more than a century. All beneath the so-called will of God. It's shocking enough to imagine people going that far. But this next story It's even darker. This time, it's not abuse, it's cannibalism. It's the evening of March 9th, 2001, in the small village of Rothenburg, Germany. Inside a modest home, a man, he's been here for 3 hours now, lying in a pool of his own blood. His reproductive organs are gone. His throat has been slit wide open. And needless to say, this scene is absolutely revolting. I'll butcher you and eat your flesh. It was disturbingly blunt. And this post just sat there, floating in the dark depths of the internet for days. At first, a few so-called volunteers. He wants Armin to bite off his reproductive organ and eat it. Complying, Armin fades away. For the next 3 hours, Brandes remains there, lifeless, as Armin calmly reads a Star Trek novel. And disturbingly, every single part of this night was done with Brandes's consent. Over the next few days, Armin dismembers the body, storing the remains in his deep freezer next to nothing more than frozen pizza, a single VHS tape. Over the next 10 months, Armin consumed men. He returned to Cannibal Cafe, boasting about what he'd done in explicit, horrifying detail. But this is where trouble finally caught up to him. In December of 2002, another user on Cannibal Cafe saw Frankie's disturbing posts and reported them to the police. Had been a willing participant. Still, Armin Maives was eventually convicted of murder. He admitted he did it for sexual gratification. Lost media cases in internet history was born. And sadly, the same goes for this next story. A truly heartbreaking case of lost media. This next entry takes us into a much more personal, and honestly, very tragic, corner of the internet. It's the story of a YouTuber known simply as Internet Bill Me. Bill ran a small channel mostly focused on religion. He talked about Jesus, about Christianity, and seemed genuinely passionate about the topics he preached. He started the channel back in 2014, and in just 4 short months, he managed to upload 71 videos, despite having only 16 subscribers. Clearly, it wasn't about views or fame for him. It was about having an outlet, a place to share his thoughts. But as the uploads continued, viewers began to notice something else. Bill was dealing with a serious illness. It became evident that he had contracted a severe form of mouth cancer. And, across those 4 short months on YouTube, we can see the heartbreaking progression of his condition as it worsened, and worsened, and worsened. His final video was uploaded on October 21st, 2014. The title, written in all caps, 10-hour surgery tomorrow. Strangely, that video, and another upload with a duplicate title, seem to have no audio. It's almost as if the sound was accidentally muted. In the video's description, Bill left one final message, written in somewhat jumbled text, asking viewers to please pray for him and for the doctors as he prepared for the operation. And after that, nothing. Seeing how rapidly his condition had progressed, and knowing that this final upload was posted right before a major surgery, it was hard not to expect the worst. And I couldn't help but wonder, whatever happened to Bill? I went back through his YouTube channel and managed to track down his old Google Plus page. From there, I found out that he lived in California and that he had a wife named Doris. But after what felt like endless digging, I still couldn't find any confirmed records for a William or Bill Me connected to a Doris. So I reached out to a few friends for help, and one of them, specifically Alex Bale, was able to track it down. Bill would have been 90 years old this year. And sadly, he passed away less than a month after that surgery. His legacy now lives on through the quiet little corner of YouTube he left behind. And this story serves as a deeply humbling reminder of just how quickly life and the human body can change. Did you find these unsettling? Then brace yourself, because this last piece of footage is even more disturbing. It's October 1999, and in the south end of Fort Worth, Texas, something strange is happening. Residents begin to notice a certain smell lingering in the air. At first faint, then overwhelming. It's nauseating, repugnant, a pungent wave of rot that quickly spreads through parks, homes, and businesses. It becomes inescapable. And soon, people are left wondering, what could possibly be causing this? Worried and disgusted, residents contact the authorities, desperate for answers. The smell had come on so quickly. So, where was it coming from? At the corner of Hemphill and West Fogg Street sits an abandoned building. It was once a small neighborhood grocery store, Mexia Supermarket, run by a Laotian family who had served the community for years. But now, the family was gone. The building left vacant. And inside, something was festering, rotting, and the smell was only getting worse. Inside the store, what had once been shelves of food had become a biohazard nightmare. Deli meats and produce were blackened with bacteria. Milk and frozen goods had exploded from uncontrolled fermentation, and the air inside was completely unbreathable, stripped of oxygen by the decaying organic matter. The building had become a breeding ground for maggots, roaches, rats, and thousands of flies, a scene straight out of a nightmare. And all of this had been left to rot for nearly 3 months. In the days that followed, the Fort Worth Health Department officially declared the site a health hazard, sparking a massive cleanup operation. But there was a problem. Because of the live rodents, millions of insects, and the buildup of hazardous gas, they couldn't simply demolish or burn the building. If they did, everything inside would scatter into the surrounding homes. So instead, a crew was hired to clean it by hand. Suited up in hazmat suits and oxygen tanks, they were tasked with the unthinkable, bagging and removing the rotten food, disinfecting every surface, and fumigating the entire building, all while wading through clouds of flies. Reportedly, when they first entered, the infestation was so severe that they could barely see a few feet in front of them. The cleanup took nearly a month, and by December, the building finally stood empty. But even then, the odor lingered. Years later, the store was eventually reopened under a new name, Terry's. But according to at least one Google review, posted nearly 14 years after the original closure, the place still smelled like death. Most of the footage you've seen comes from a 2010 History Channel documentary called Life After People. And while it gives us a glimpse of the horror inside Mexia Supermarket, it's only a small part of the story. There was more, much more. According to an online user named The Hookup, early news footage showed scenes so graphic that even the windows appeared blacked out, covered by millions of roaches and flies. He wrote, "I did have dreams about this one neighborhood in Fort Worth. It was because of a news story at the time. A supermarket in this low-income area of town just closed one day. The images on the news are what gave me bad dreams. Windows blackened by millions of roaches, rats in swarms, The smell had to be apocalyptic. 2-month-old fish, 2-month-old carrots, pork, thousands upon thousands of rat droppings. I was obsessed with the story, hence why I dreamt about it, being in there. It still freaks me out. To this day, only about a minute of footage survives, showing the true nightmare left behind inside Mexia Supermarket. And while rumors of other archives exist, those tapes seem to have vanished into broadcast history. With more tension growing around this bizarre case, perhaps someday those lost recordings will resurface. But for now, this is all we have. And it may stay that way for years to come. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.